Bam. We're live. I think I'm losing my voice again. I think we're live. Are we live? There's no one watching. Brandon Smith, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for the membership. There we go. 6 viewers. This is gonna be a wild one. I hope there's only 6. I haven't seen this show yet, but boy, so many people are talking. So many people are talking. Holy shit, the chatter. Emma, hi. Pink's a nice color. Ian, what's up, dude? Scott, yo, this is gonna be good. This one's gonna be wily, I think. It's 28 minutes, man. Let's go, Sevon. Almost got your voice back. I lost it again today. I got 2 fit aids for this show. It's been a long day. Been a long day. Doing daddy shit. 28 minutes and 37 seconds. I don't watch these beforehand, but I've never gotten so many texts about a TDC week in review. This is going to be wild. Brandon Lecoq. By the way, thank you, Brandon Smith. Smart money. How are you not? How is anyone not a CEO member? Do it. Can't wait to hear your reaction. Yeah, my DMs. I've probably gotten 20 DMs and probably got 20 text messages. It's going to be tough because I don't want to conflate. I don't want to conflate issues. I want to stay true to the point the entire time. I almost feel like making a preemptive strike before I even see the Dave's Week in Review. It's amazing. It's amazing the courage it takes to stand up for people who are part of a class where that class is being demanded to play victim, right? So whatever class you're in, you know, whitey, cripple, blackie, just whatever, Jewy, packy, pally, Espanoli, there's this demand somewhere always, each class, each group, each demographic for whatever your shit is. There's someone out there demanding you play the victim. And the real courage and the people who really give a fuck, and they're the only ones, are hillbilly. I don't know I don't know very much I don't know about the hillbilly victim mindset, but every group, there's someone out there demanding you play the victim. There's some narrative, and then there's fucking bad motherfuckers like me who are like, hey, I'll stand up for those people because I got, you know what I mean? Like, I got a little means, you know what I mean? I can cover my mortgage every month. It's like, okay, I'm not afraid to be canceled. I'll do the real courageous part. I'll give a place for black people who don't want to play the victim to just be themselves. Just believe in themselves. I'll give a place for fucking dwarfs to be themselves and not play the victim, where you can just hang out and just be you, just chill. No one's demanding you play the victim. I'll give a place for Jews to not have to hate, and I'll give a place for Palestinians not to have to hate. Yeah, CMO, bad motherfucker. Thank you. That's the courage. The courage is the fat people who stand up for during the COVID and be like, hey, yo, it's us. Old motherfuckers would be like, yo, it's us, who would stand up instead of play the victim. I don't think you can be in here for this show. I don't know. Yeah, you can. But I can't put your mic on. I know. Okay. I love you. How was jiu-jitsu? Good. Kicked ass?
Yeah, I sparred with Nico.
Oh, you did? Mm-hmm. All right. You got a live audience today. Okay. Anyway, that's just a little preemptive strike. The gay community doesn't want the P attached to the LGB doesn't want the LGB community that doesn't want the TQP attached to it. Like, this is a place for you. Like, this is not a place for pedos, though. Sorry. Like, I got my limits. This is a place for trannies. Totally fine. Love trannies. Porn stars, priests, all of them. but I do have my limits. I'm not perfect. Sorry. Christians, atheists, all you motherfuckers, love you guys. Okay. But if you demand people play the victim, then and you're gonna like make claims of your personal own psychosis is feeling sorry for yourself. Someone cuts you off and they think they did it to you. Like I used to think when I was a little kid, people didn't respect me because I was a little kid. And like anyone who wants to play that victim role, like I'll you're like I like you, but we're gonna tussle. I'm gonna call it out how it is. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal that Greg Glassman says he doesn't mourn the death of George Floyd. I do think it's a big deal if you say I don't hire people. I hire people based on their skin color, genitalia, and then preference of genitalia they'd like on their face. Like those are, but I still don't dislike you. But like we're gonna have words. Hawk Tui girl, she's dope. I bet you I could talk my wife into. I bet you. No. Big boy drink. You step off this. When I first started the podcast, I was desperate for a Fit Aid sponsorship. Now I'm so big it doesn't even matter. I got 100 live listeners. Look at me, I'm the shit. Dave Castro Weekend Review, June 24th. Oh, it's summer started. Right? June 21st is summer. 2024 Weekend Review, Athlete Interview Series, Rogan PEDs and CrossFit Nutrition, CrossFit documentary. Hiller with one L. What a douche canoe. Come on, Dave.
Weekend Review, June 24th.
I lowered my mic so that Dave's will be louder, so you guys could turn up your TVs or computers or whatever you need to. Let's rock and roll.
2024. I am trying this new StreamYard setup that I'm using for these interviews I'm doing with the athletes. So that's why I'm looking around to see the time. I don't see where my time is on this to see how long I go.
Listen, I'm putting up the phone number too for this one. Let's make this just a straight fucking party. Where's the phone numbers? Banners. Okay, here we go.
Anyway, let's dive into it. Before I get into comments, a couple points. So I started this new series where I'm going to try to interview all the athletes, all 80 of them, prior to the games. And it's going to be from 5 to 10 minutes long. And the point of this, especially since probably 17 and on, maybe 18, after 18, 19 and on, I feel like I really have been disconnected from and don't really know a lot of the athletes, especially last year when I went to the games. Like I didn't know any of them. And I'm also not really following on social media or engaged like that. So I figured, well, I might as well try to just briefly get to know some of the athletes, and why not record it and then put it out as.
I'm surprised Dave hasn't mentioned this before. There used to be a series, I don't know when it was, but Dave did it and I did it, and it was called like the 3-minute interview or something. Now, it could have been like back in 2010 or 11, 12, 13, 14, something like there. So him and I dabbled in a show like that before. It was like called the 3-minute interview or something.
A little video. So this will give me an opportunity to touch base with, talk to each athlete. And most I don't know. A few I know, I know really well, like Brooke. And so it'll be a fun, and even with Brooke, I learned something new. So it'll be a fun little drill, fun little exercise, and some cool content for the community. So 1 down, 79 to go. I have a number of other ones set up. So I'll start cranking those out. And to be honest, throughout a day, I'm going to end up having to put out multiple clips of different athletes as I interview them. Again, and the point is really short, 5 to 10 minutes long, to the point. Specifically going to ask a lot about their CrossFit experience, benchmarks. I'm interested in knowing some of their benchmarks and what their thoughts are on the games for where we're at with the process and what we've announced.
I don't know if it was only the Brooke episode or somewhere else. When I heard Dave talking about this, he seemed a little like shy and like shoulders in when he talked about it and hands in front of him, kind of like a little insecure about it. And now, like, you can tell already, he got the Brooke one out. It's doing great. It's approaching 10,000 views. He feels confident. So that's good. He's leveling up and he's got his game face on.
As you saw last week, we announced, as you might have seen, we announced the
Are the athletes required to do this to go to the games? I don't know, James, but they should be. But they should be. If they want to go the professional route, if they want to professionalize themselves, that would be something that they would be have probably like in a contract, or if they want to do their part to level up the sport, yeah, they should get on there with Dave.
The Farrington Field as an option for, or not as an option, as a Friday night lights event. So basically from 8 to 10, we're going to have events out there. And Farrington Field seats 18,000 people. Our stadium, what we sold for Dickies, is around 9,000. So the Farrington Field events team and individual is open to anyone. So it's we're not going to ticket it. Anyone can show up. The 9,000 people who have tickets for the Coliseum, you will probably with no issue have a seat in the other venue, because I've seen some comments where people are asking if they have specific seating over in the other venue. It seats 18,000 people again, so there will be no issue with seating. I do not really see a scenario where 10,000 other people come just to check out that event. If it did, I mean, that'd be pretty cool. But every time we've done stuff like this, where we've had free events, at most it's a couple thousand. But maybe here in Texas, with the strong affiliate network, we'll be able to rally and have more.
If you're in the area, you got to go to this. It's free. The games are not inexpensive, but if you're in the area, you should definitely go to this. You should bring your mom, your dad, your kids. These events are awesome. They're so friendly. The energy will be great. I'm not sure if they'll do like a vendor village or anything there, but they're great, and I really do hope they sell all 18,000 or give away all 18,000 seats. That'll be awesome. It'll be great for the athletes too. The roar will be insane. If that place does fill up, it'll become the most memorable moment in probably CrossFit Games history, outside of maybe a few things from Carson. That being said, I have engaged. I am in full engagement with CrossFit Now and in communications about getting all access pass so that I can go everywhere Dave goes, so that I can replicate the behind the scenes like I did last year.
So another thing I want to talk about related to the games, I saw that clip about Joe Rogan where he and apparently the guy from the this event where they don't test anyone or they allow everything. We're talking about steroids or performance enhancing drugs in the games. And one of the guest made a comment about, oh well, 22 and before they probably aren't doing anything. And Rogan made some insinuations or some comments about that we don't test. But look, we've been testing from like the second games on. And in the second game, I'll tell you this big lesson learned for.
I did read the comments from this video already before watching the video. I don't know if I read all of them, but one of the comments in there is from someone, and it says, "Hey, someone came and tested my wife 3 days ago," which is like pretty awesome. That was just ridiculous what they said on Rogan.
Me in this role and for me, kind of heading this sport up for almost the last 2 decades. In the second games, someone approached us and said they're willing to fund and test all of the athletes that were there. Actually, it was the third games, not the second. It was the third games. And it was the first year that we had actually qualifiers to get to the games. And so we were committed to doing the testing and all about it. And so at the games, they tested all the athletes. And one athlete of all the athletes that year failed the drug test. And this guy failed for like everything. Like he had the masking agents for the stuff he failed for. And so like it was a plethora of things that he popped on. And this time and this time only, that was the third year of the games, because he was active duty military at the time, we decided to not publicize the results. And then, months later after that, so we didn't tell the world he failed. We actually removed him, I think, from the leaderboard. He didn't do too hot anyway, so I don't think it mattered. But that was the only time we ever did anything like that, and it was a huge lesson learned. And basically, a few months later after that, I was like, we can never do that again. Even active duty military or whatnot, we can't not publish the results. I say that because it's insinuated often, and we get accused of protecting athletes and or doing things like that where we don't tell the world the real test results. After that, once we did start testing over the years, and once we had to fund it, it's really expensive to test the entire field. So pretty much consistent from back then. We tested all the regional qualifiers, and then a large number at the games. And then throughout the season, we'd have off-season tests. And it's interesting because someone sent me that clip that Hiller put out where there's the Froning line where he goes, Froning and Sherwood are talking, and Froning said something like surprise test or random test. what he meant there, and I think this has been misconstrued by a lot of people. People think, or it sounds like he's saying random as if he knew it was coming. That's not what he meant by that, and that wasn't what he was talking about. He meant random as if he was randomly selected. No, 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 no. He wasn't randomly selected. His time was random when he got it. But what I mean by that is, of course, Rich had multiple random tests throughout his competitive, and Frazier too, throughout their competitive um, when they were competing and being dominant. We had a list of people and we said test those guys and test them randomly, so they didn't know when the testers were coming, but they were definitely, because of their success and because of how well they were doing, they were targeted and tested in the off season at much higher.
Completely fucking normal. If you're going to test people, you have to have a fucking list of people you're going to test. So you have a tester, and I'm like, hey, these are the people you're going to test. And you're going to test Tia Toomey, who's the guy at the top for the guys? Jeffrey Adler, Roman Krennikov, Ariel Lowen, Alex Kazan, who's some other good dudes? Justin Medeiros. Like, you're gonna, like, here's the list, and we're gonna test those people. Makes complete fucking sense. I don't even get it. I think that anyone could even ask Greg this, Dave this, anyone at CrossFit this. In my tenure there at CrossFit, I weaved in and out of more departments, or I was as knowledgeable about as anyone ever was about in the breadth of what was going on at HQ. I was close friends with a lot of people, and I never, ever heard anything about anyone being gone after for vindictiveness or for letting someone cheat or letting someone get away with the test. Dave was absolutely very clear that he didn't care who popped or didn't pop. Like, it's so weird to hear this discussion because I know the scene so intimately, and yeah, anyone who thinks that's fucking crazy.
Intervals than everyone else. So that wasn't.
There was no one ever attached to HQ who were like, oh my God, you brought in so much money for us. Some people would argue that Rich helped grow the sport, but there was no one ever that it was like, man, that person's our shining star, and like we have to protect them and we need to raise. There was never anything like that. Never. Never, ever, ever.
That wasn't an accident, and it wasn't random. It wasn't as if he had any advanced knowledge that he was going to be tested that day.
As a matter of fact, it was probably harder on Rich. If you were to ask Rich, hey, did they go easy on you? No, not probably. I know he would say that, and so would Matt. That they got less preferential treatment.
But the fact that he was being tested, that part was totally set up. And so, of course, I mean, we have to pick a number of people. And so throughout the years, there was a list of, several to over a dozen people that were getting tested. And yeah, like you could guess who we were testing. People like Dan Bailey and people who had a lot of, who were really good. And there were also a lot of questions, and they were all coming back clean. And here's the other thing I'll tell you, and a lot of people close to me and a lot of people in the sport know this. I would love to catch any of them. I don't fucking care. Like, I'm not like, oh, we need to protect Rich Froning, or oh, we need to protect Matt Frazier, or oh, we need to protect Tia. No, 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 no. Like, if they're cheating and we have an opportunity to catch them, I would love for us to catch them.
And that, I didn't want to say that but that's the message Dave would give us consistently throughout the year. That's what you would hear from him to everyone, internally, externally. He was always open. I'd love to catch someone.
So, and also now, so we use drug-free sport for our testing. It's now also who the UFC uses. So I'm pretty sure the UFC uses. They left theirs, and now I'm pretty sure they use drug-free sport. But we also, it's a third party, so we're not the ones who are looking at the results or taking the samples and then analyzing them. We have a third party who does it for us. And we tested every qualifier at semifinals, and we'll test a large number of we'll test all the podium at the games and then down the field a little. So we take it very seriously, and we have since the earliest days. And that story I told you about 2009 was a huge lesson learned and a huge mistake on my part. And I mean, like, again, this was the infancy of the sport, and the reason was noble in intent. We were trying to protect this guy from getting in trouble with the military. But after the fact, I regretted it. I didn't think, for the sake of the sport and the future of the sport, we couldn't do that again. All right, enough on that.
The guy was really cool who popped. and we made videos with him at Camp Pendleton, and he was a CrossFitter through and through. And I don't have a problem with protecting the dude in the military. Like, kick him out of the sport, give him the ban. There's no reason to fuck his job at wherever the fuck he is.
So there was one other thing I wanted to say about. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to jump into comments now.
It's not that CrossFit doesn't test, it's that it's subpar. If you make semifinals, you need to be entered into a year-round pool like the UFC does. If you leave the pool or fail a test, a lifetime ban. You don't get a lifetime ban in the UFC. John Jones, I can't remember if it was John Jones or someone was supposed to get a 2-year ban, ended up only being 1. They do year-round tests. That's what he just said that they did. And there's people who who'd never even made it to the semifinals. There was some lady who never made it out of the Open who was tested 1 year. So I don't know. I hear you, Mark Quina, but I don't agree.
And so remember, the comments, I have not looked at them, and they're sorted from I'm going top to bottom, and they're sorted by top comments. So they become top comments by getting thumbs up. Peter Shaw, good friend. At Peter Shaw 4, always fires me up to hear your enthusiasm for the games, Dave. Thanks. I've commented something similar in the past, but jumping in on the convo again. I qualified for the games in 2020 and on a team in 2022, so I can attest to the amount of training that it takes to get there. Certainly conducive to burnout. Towards the end, as I age, I would consistently take 1 month off completely from training. My last year is less for the body and more for the mind. I didn't want anything to do with it. Currently following a combination of CAP, proven, and my own stuff. 1 workout per day with intensity, just as you described, is the way to sustainably train for the rest of your life for most people. Heck, many times nowadays, I'm only spending 30 to 40 minutes max in the garage. I do the same. If you want to get more bang for your buck, I always encourage people to make changes in the kitchen instead of adding volume to training. Most are blown away with how fit they can get with 1 workout per day when they follow something like the Zone diet. Second place to tell them to look is in the intensity. Can you go 1% harder in your workout? Do that before adding volume and you will reap the benefits. It takes enormous psychological capacity to go harder compared to simply walking through more volume. Have a great day. Great comment, Peter. Thank you. Thank you for supporting and validating some of the points I was talking about. And you hit something that it's funny because actually when I finished this last week, I walked away and went, damn, I didn't talk about one of the most important pieces. In all of this, nutrition is like the most important piece in results and or intensity, or you not feeling like you're making progress. So oftentimes people look at programming and say, oh, I'm not making the results I need, or I'm not making the progress I need with my body or with my times or loads. So I need to switch programmers, or I need to chase the flavor of the day in that world. And really, a good coach and a good trainer will actually look at someone's diet first. That's the first place. If you're not seeing the results you need or want, that's the first place you need to look at is nutrition, and then tighten nutrition up, and then you can start looking at the other things. Thanks a lot, Pete. At Austin Fairbanks,
Greg would stand up in front of crowds all the time and be like, hey, man, I know you guys see me as the fitness guy, and I want to tell you fitness is the magic bullet. But the truth is, it's nutrition. Nutrition. If you could only keep one, fitness or nutrition, you keep nutrition every day, 10 out of 10 times.
9142. I really like what Marcus Philly is doing, but also love CrossFit. At Mitch Collins 5840, Dave, your counsel about the risks of movement is medicine are spot on. This is conceptually similar to the issues CF has had fighting off nutritionists. Yeah, so it ultimately can lead to negative legislation. So pay attention to that. At X Ropey64, it's funny all the.
Do you guys get that? That's from last week. There's this under the guise of exercise is medicine. You have to be careful because usually behind organizations like that, it's big pharma, big food. And what they're basically trying to do is put legislation and licensure around exercise so they can control that too. And they want to try to claim that you can exercise away a bad diet. And you cannot. Darren Coughlin, the most important aspect of testing process is proper intelligence of potential testing targets. Oh, okay. There you go. I think that kind of coincides with what Dave is saying. We make the list.
Bullshit Dave has to deal with. It's funny how anything a person will do can be found to be insulting by another human. Good job, Dave, and always pay attention to that.
Let's listen to this very quickly, and we'll bring this comment up later on today.
X Ropey64. It's funny all the bullshit Dave has to deal with. It's funny how anything a person will do can be found to be insulting by another human job. human. Good job, Dave, on always smiling.
People can always find what you're saying as insulting.
Thank you. At Simon Eyes 5277. Hi, Dave. Thanks for the weekly updates. I really enjoy your interaction with our community. A few weeks back, you challenged Andrew Hiller to make a video with all the positive things he's done for CrossFit. Did you manage to watch his video, and what's your impression of it? Also, how's your journey reading the Bible progressing? Finished with the Bible. Really enjoyed it. I don't think I'm ready to talk about it. I just don't think, or I want to. Let me say something about that. I think, especially when people get platforms like this, I think they feel like they have to spew everything out of about their personal lives, about their journeys, and hey, there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to keep to myself, and I don't want to share with the world, or don't feel comfortable. That is one of them, but I highly recommend it. I'm also
you don't feel comfortable. You don't feel comfortable.
Watching The Chosen right now. That's really good. If you haven't seen the series The Chosen, check it out. It was nice to someone recommended that once I told him I was reading the Bible. Nice to watch after having read the Bible. I don't know. Did he make one about being positive, or about the positive things? I did not watch it. I'll get to the rest in a second.
Andrew did make a video of the positive things, and one of the things that he said in there was, he pointed out it was a list of 10 things he's done positive, or 13, and one of them is how many times he stood up to fight off outside interests or outside forces that try to interfere with the CrossFit ecosystem and beat them down. And he gave some examples. And I thought that was very, very poignant.
At Whitney Davis 1344, with keeping the athlete's safety in mind, why did you not all make them come down the rope to a certain line before jumping off? Love these weekend reviews. Keep it up and can't wait for the games. At least they cut the rope to avoid feet, ankle injuries. That one we've gone back and forth on, and the speed at which they're descending down the rope is so hard to judge and make the call with they're above the line or they're both below the line. So that's a tough one. Could have, did not in this environment. And that being said, I don't know if there was the amount of injuries for that movement too were pretty. I think I heard someone might have got it. One person might have got injured in Europe coming down from the rope. But there's some level of self-preservation in all of this that the athletes need to take accountability for.
Those of you who are worried about injury shit and like saying it's like paramount, like if you don't know what the word paramount means. If you think safety is paramount, then you would never even do CrossFit. You would never do anything. You would fucking get up in the morning and just stay perfectly still. You wouldn't even use a fork or a knife. It's fucking idiocy. And just put things in context. CrossFit is not safe or dangerous unless you put it in context. Put it to the injuries that have occurred in Olympic trials around the world. Heat stroke in Mecca, deaths in Mecca, injuries in Pop Warner football, injuries in running. You injury people are twats. There's some things, to learn from, like cutting the rope. There's no point in having the excess rope down there. It's not needed. It's not a part of the game. But the point is, it's about speed and intensity, and let them come down the fucking rope as fast as they want.
And again, so coming down the rope quickly, under enough control to not break a leg or hurt something. 1 second.
Time for a sip of Fit Aid.
Versus something like the rebound and box jump, where then everyone will have to do it because for the speed, I view it a little differently. How about this for the first event of the CrossFit Games, 1,000 burpees for time? This is Justin or Just31. I would watch every second. Thank you for all you do for the community. Someone said,
one time, Miko Salo, 2009 CrossFit Games champion, told me he did 1,000 burpees for time. I go, what about it? He goes, that was just stupid. It's stupid programming. It's just dumb. Miko Salo.
Insanity. And then Burn 1808. Hi, Dave. Recently, the U.S. Army revised its General Physical Fitness Test, the Army Combat Fitness Test, ACFT 4.0, to establish new combat readiness standards with scales based on gender and age. Standards have been modified to promote and reflect what the Army terms holistic health domains and inclusivity. Minimum requirements have been made more lenient.
Based on sex and age. Gender's imagination, made up shit. It's based on sex and age.
Healthy 17 to 21-year-old males, presumably the fittest physical cohort, can now receive a passing grade by completing a 2-mile run in 22 minutes or less, a 3-rep max deadlift of 140 pounds, 10 push-ups, 2 minutes. Requirements are further scaled based on age and gender characteristics. Yeah, there's a lot, and then there's a lot of comments on this. I'm going to move to the next one. Yeah, we're doing a lot of work with the Army. So here's the deal. Testing, and this is the beauty of CrossFit, testing annually or once every 6 months is an approach to poor levels of fitness, and actually prioritizing and looking at results on a weekly basis or even on a daily basis, as we do in CrossFit, is actually going to give you more results and give you more feedback to your protocol than once every year or once every 6 months. So I think the ACFT is good in concept, but really all the services need to move away from like that once every 6 months to a year. If you care about performance and improvement and seeing performance improvement, you need to measure it on a daily and weekly basis. And the Army, the efforts we're doing with 3rd ID and 18th Airborne Corps and General Donahue, we are doing stuff where we're measuring on a daily and weekly basis and seeing tremendous results from constantly varied functional movements at high intensity with
those headphones this guy's fucking wearing are headphones. More specifically, they're over the ear headphones. How do I know that? Because I'm using my senses to see it. I'm using my eyes and I'm making my own discernment based on my 5 senses. Sex is the same way. I see your cock dangling between your legs. I see your chromosomes, and I know you're a man. I use it on my senses. Gender is just that shit between your ears that you make up. During Halloween, you're Batman. During fucking when you're on 5 hits of ecstasy, you turn into a woman. Like, I don't fucking know, but I'm just telling you. I hear you, Bernie. That's what they say in the Army, but they're fucking stupid. Sex is something that's out here in the world that you use your sources, your senses to make discernment. And the other shit, gender is just imagination. I don't have anything problem with gender, but just use the fucking word right. Fucktards. That's like one of the cornerstones of insanity, not knowing the difference between what your thoughts are and what's going on in the outside fucking world in reality. Anyway, we'll get into that more later.
The soldiers. Been loving these weekly videos and can't wait to order the EVO this Friday. Thanks, Dave. That's Mike B 6530, tdcmercantile.com. I just threw a bunch of stuff on there too. I just made some new little cable keepers for your cords when you're traveling, some new keychains. I made a couple little bookcases, still olive oil. So 3 different flavors. I'm coming out with the 4th flavor soon. So TDC Mercantile, check it out.
tdcmercantile.com. I see. Let's take our weekly perusing of the site. We just finished my wife asked me if I want to keep this can. We just finished the big can at my house. I want to keep it. I don't know what to do with it. I was thinking about like filling it up with something and using it as like a gym equipment. Excuse me, keychains, belts. Where's the shirts? Oh, look at this. This is new. A cord keeper. Hand sewn notebook book sleeve. You know, I have one of these. Wow, I forgot. I have one of these that he made me like probably, I don't know, 10 years ago. That's crazy. Damn. He's getting into it. All handmade by Dave. No slave labor. Actually, I don't know if these patches are made by him. For sure that is. Is there more stuff? Where's the t-shirts? Oh, view all products. And he got a sewing room at his house. Oh, there's the shirts. Oh, someone was saying that you can't pick a size, but I think if you go to once you add it to the cart, you can pick a size. They're soft shirts. I wear mine all the time. Anyway, Dave's got this sewing room. And I remember like before he turned it into a sewing room, it had just been sitting empty. It's like it's not attached to his house. And he came to work one day and he had this fucking crazy, he lifted up his shirt and he had this crazy like necrotic black thing on his back with a hole in it. And I go, "What happened, dude?" And he goes, "I got bit by a spider." I think it fucked him up. Someone should ask him to tell the story. I think he was sick like for 2 weeks. I think he had to be taken to the emergency room. He got bit by some wicked spider in there when he's cleaning it out. Probably like a brown recluse, black recluse. I don't know. I don't know what color it is or what its gender is or its sex.
At Shannon Schleifler 8602, hang on to your abilities, use it or lose it. I am Star. Appreciate your videos and insights. That being said, I believe the CrossFit Games should allow CrossFit Games athletes to compete as they see fit. Don't bump the stuff down. Go back to allowing the rebounds. I don't agree. At Michelle Fogarty, 65, 6055, I found the vast improvements with MS system. At Gomez, Marion 1, what are your thoughts about women's sports? Few people enjoy them, while female CrossFit competitions are as exciting as male comp, sometimes even more. Why do you think this is? I mean,
Oh, I like that question. Yeah, let them rebound, Dave. Don't be a dipshit. And I don't know what MS Systems is, but oh, Andrew Hiller, hi. My dear friend Andrew Hiller. Mason, you only know that because you watch it. What did Mason say? Dan, maybe too smart to watch that. I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay. What's Mason's beef with Hiller? Do they have a beef? Okay. Anyway, the question is why are other women's sports lame and CrossFit's cool? What are the women's sports that aren't lame? Gymnastics. And by lame, I don't mean like lame for them to play. Like they're all cool for them to play, but just that like no one wants to watch them do it. Women's fighting, women's UFC is crazy. It's at such a high level. Oh, women's tennis is dope. Yep, women's tennis is fucking wild. You know what else is wild is wheelchair tennis. I watched that the other day just on accident. It's fucking nuts. They allow 2 bounces. Basketball's lame. I'm not interested in women's football. Softball, not so much. But the truth is I haven't given any of them the chance. Yeah, 2 bounces. It's wild. Oh, track and field. Yeah, track and field's cool. Okay, maybe it's a misnomer to say that women's sports are lame. Maybe I have to strike that from the record. Which ones are better than men's sports? Gymnastics is definitely as good. Women's track and field is crazy, probably as good. All right, here we go. And we'll hear Dave's answer. Why is women's? Oh, that's a tough freeze frame I put Dave on. Why is women's CrossFit just? I mean, it's just as good, if not better. I think. I agree.
and I love women competition, especially in our sport. And I think we've been I don't want to say a trendsetter, but we've led from the beginning with paying equal amounts to both genders at our level. What I mean by that is we're not saying, if the men get more than the women. And since the beginning of the CrossFit Games, we've been that way. So, and I think our sport, it's the women have a
Yeah, and so what? So what? I mean, cool. I mean, I'm not saying like so what to Dave, but yeah, of course. Like, of course.
visual appeal.
Why are Trump's head lawyers women? Do you think he hires them because they're women? Or do you think he hires them because they're good?
That the men do too, but the women have a visual appeal that makes it compelling to.
Now we're
So,
talking.
and I think our sport, it's the women have a visual appeal that the men do too, but more than the women.
Oh.
And since the beginning of the CrossFit Games, we've been that way. So, and I think our sport, it's the women have a visual appeal that the men do too, but the women have a visual appeal that makes it compelling for people to watch. That's why I think it can be so popular.
Let me just explain that so it doesn't get written off as like a T&A comment. It is, I guess, apparently less common to see a woman's DNA expressed in its full form when they train like with the ultimate training system, GPP, General Physical Preparedness Training System, which is CrossFit with the greatest nutrition program. And then you see their DNA express itself in all its glory with the huge asses and the fucking shoulders, and just in the one turns out like Alex Kazan, and you're just like, my fucking God. And then so there's that piece that like maybe we're not as used to it because you've seen a ton of fucking monkey head gym rat guys already doing that. And so, yeah, maybe that's what he means. It's just exciting to see a woman in all her form, all her glory. Kind of like a pregnant woman. Can't take your eyes like a healthy pregnant woman is crazy to look at. Dave Ton. And you in that respect, it's like same with animals too. Pregnant women, female animals are crazy too. Like all of them, you're kind of like, what? What am I looking at? How are they doing that? Dave Ton. Although I have a hummingbird in my yard that's sitting on eggs, and even like hummingbirds, like they're not, they're impressive, but not in the fact, not when they're pregnant. So a hummingbird's an outlier. Okay. Dave Ton. Trump hires women because he likes to look at them. B, he feels more in control of women than men because he feels they talk back less. Oh, geez. Are you projecting, Dave? Dave, are you projecting? Trump recognizes that hot women just immediately command attention. Dave, talk to me, Dave. Are you projecting? Hot women work harder. I don't know if that's true.
In ours, and what the women are doing in fitness, more common now for people to see than it was in our early days. In the early days of CrossFit, and women doing this stuff for a lot of people was foreign, and so it was really impressive. Now this stuff's becoming more common, so it's not as much of a wow that the women are doing some of these things. But yeah, I think it's I love it, and I love the women's side of the competition. For us, we're exposing the potential of what female athletes can do, and inspiring women and young women and others to
shut the fuck up. I watched God damn it, Dave. Listen, the women in the sport inspire men and women equally. The women in this sport, I bet you the women in this sport actually inspire the men more than they inspire the fucking women. The whole everyone and their mom, regardless of what they have dangling or not dangling between their legs, saw Nasty Girls and was like, shit, I want to do that. And so I doubt Dave meant it like that, but like let's not go back to 2006. Those of us who are around women, like good, strong, healthy women, it's like there's no difference. We don't look at them like, no one's like, oh my God, you did this because you're a woman. Oh my God, you did so great. You have Down syndrome. Oh my God, you did so good for a guy who only has one leg. Like, shut the fuck up. I expect all the women to be fucking great. I hear you, Dave. I love the women in this sport. Yeah, good. All right. You asked why Trump hires them, but do you love the women in this sport, Dave, because you feel more in control of those women and they talk back less? Is that why you like them, Dave? Women in the sport? Dave? Talk to me, Davey. SC Fitness, I agree with you. Yeah. Once again, there's this kind of like this demand. I'm telling you, the other day, my son heard that fucking that female skater Sky Brown start doing the man woman thing, and my son's 7 years old. He'd never heard that shit before, and it's like all of a sudden he's like, "What do you mean there's women's sports and men's sports?" I'm like, "Where'd you hear that?" He's like, "Sky Brown told me that they're gonna go play men's sports," and then she yelled, "Girl power." It's like, yeah, good job. That's what I'm talking about. That is demanding people to play the victim under the guise of trying to help them. Just go play the sport. You want a ribbon because you're playing fucking baseball instead of softball? The first one I'm okay with. The first one I'm okay with. Carolyn Lambre, first black coach of a female black coach of a CrossFit Games athlete. Cool. Then that's it. I'm done. One. You get one.
to do a methodology like this to get results like that. All right, let me see.
And of course they're examples. It's redundant. We're all examples for each other. That's all we are, is examples for each other. Dallas Cannon, I'll die on this hill that more attractive women work harder. Oh, shut your pie hole. You think more attractive women fuck better? I bet you that's not true. And what good is an attractive woman that doesn't make sweet love? Good sweet love. It's like a Lamborghini without an engine. Okay, back. What were we doing? Oh, Dave Castro Weekend Review. Almost got sidetracked. Here we go. You know that's true. You know apples and oranges. Fine, I know, but I took it there. Just saying.
Programming question. Hey, Dave, enjoy the weekly videos and getting some insight from you directly. Keep them up. This is a specific programming question. It's quite long, but if you don't have a chance to read the whole section, I'd love to get your thoughts. I don't see it. Oh, I think he might be fucking with me. Okay. That's it. Last thing I want to cover is two things. I heard Andrew said Hillary.
Keep talking about attractive women, and Sporty Beth is going to make another video about you. Watch out. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was thinking about that actually today. Isn't it amazing that Sporty Beth made an entire video about me as the most toxic man in CrossFit? Just ass pounding me. I didn't even know who she was. I'd never even heard of her. And just fucking destroys me in this fucking video, manipulating the audio and the clips. And then later on, I ran across her on Instagram and she was saying some delusional shit. And I said, Sporty Beth, we need to have a baseline. And that baseline is I have a big nose and you're fat. We have to agree on some aspects of reality. Can we agree on that? And then she ran and Wooly ran and tattled to Dawn that I said that. And then Dawn writes a 4-page letter to CrossFit Inc. to the employees there, letting them know that I'm coming to the games, but I don't work for CrossFit and they don't condone what I'm saying or some shit. And it's like, you should have written that letter defending me, saying, guys, don't worry, we stand by Sevon. He loves women, he loves trannies, and he loves dwarfs. And she totally took that shit out of context. It shouldn't be, but that wouldn't be the popular thing to do. That would have taken courage. I'm not the one fucking hating on her. I think she's got great tits and I don't even care that she's fat. I'm just telling you what my senses are seeing. Oh, shit. What happened to Dave? Okay, here we go. This is going to be good. Let me rewind this. Here we go. Here's the part I'm terrified of. Listen, I saw Philip Kelly make a post somewhere. Philip's a friend of mine. He made a comment in the comments. He watches the show, I think, or he used to. And he made a comment and he said, how come we haven't been talking about this all along? Referencing Annette hiring people not based on merit, but based on the color of their skin. Why has this been hidden? Are people just trying to get media access? Yeah, motherfucker. I've been telling you that the whole fucking time. Of course, it's a fucking delicate game. I'm not lying to you, but yeah, I'm trying to fucking bob and weave and fucking surf the fucking political fucking landscape here. And yet keep it real. Yeah, of course. If you know that they fucking hate you because of the fucking color of your skin, or that they're not inclusive and they fucking axe anyone who doesn't think like them, then you got, but you want to fucking play ball, then you're trying to figure that shit out. Now, I'm not saying you got to sell out. By the way, all the people that do end up selling out, Greg Howard, don't forget they eat their own, dude. At the end, they eat their own. Always remember that. That's not the winning team. It's a cancer. They die. They eat themselves. They implode. All right, here we go. Here we go. I really want to film at the games this year. I really want to do behind the scenes.
Last week, something about he did something.
So good at it. So fucking good at it. Really love hanging with the athletes. I like glorifying CrossFit. I made those L1 videos. I love supporting the affiliates. That's all real.
Thing on the movie that we're making last year, and someone told me that he made this statement that we're using affiliate money to fund the documentary, the games documentary, and then and then it's not even being released till after the games, and he's super critical of that. So there is not a single amount of affiliate money that is being used to fund the documentary. The documentary, we're not even funding. We partnered with the relationship we have through WME, IMG. They linked us up with a documentary company, David Check. They self-funded. We gave them the access. They could then take that documentary and sell it and or find a partner to distribute it on. And once it starts making, and then they make their money back on the production that they funded, then everyone, as it's more successful, them and us included, can make some money off of it. But we didn't fund it, one, and we didn't fund it with affiliate money for sure because we didn't fund it. So if we didn't fund it, there's no affiliate money that funded it.
Okay, a correction on Andrew Hiller's video. CrossFit did not fund the documentary, and it was not paid for by CrossFit. They used a third party who wanted to partner and take the upfront costs of it, and then that's fine. So Andrew made an error there, but I think it was a safe assumption. He was wrong. Thank you for the correction. And in years past, CrossFit has always paid for the documentaries, as far as I know, and so I think it was a fair assumption. The other 18 or 17 years, he would have been right. So detail corrected. Thank you. Thank you.
The thing about, so that's like just a number of things where I feel like I'm hearing Andrew saying things without having any knowledge to what he's saying. And so what I'm cautious, what I'm going to,
I really don't want my friends to fight.
caution the community and people who listen to him is understand he's not speaking as an authority, and he's also usually not correct with a lot of his.
That's not true. That's not true. Would usually be less than 51% of the time. That's not true. I think Andrew's correct 51% of the time. Okay, Caleb, make a poll. Oh, Caleb's not here.
Info, and there's been a number of other things on that one I did a few weeks ago where I pointed out a handful, like the Greg and Nicole thing that we're trying to make. So the problem is people hear this shit and people think it's true. Hear it, he'll say it, and then question it. Ask, well, where's his source? Does he really have knowledge, or does he really know what he's saying, or is he just trying to stir shit? And then the second thing I'll talk about.
There's something else I want to say about Andrew. He doesn't make stuff up, and you don't quote me on this, but he always requires more than one source. So he never you only think Andrew's right 48% of the time? Dude, I think it's like 89% of the time. I'll go with 84. I want to flip that. And he said he's usually wrong, Dave did, which would make it 49%. And I think it's more like 94%. I think, wait, 49, 94%. Yeah, outspeak him then. Well, that would require media. You think he's right 69% of the time, 88.7% of the time for sure, 90.2. Is 50% plus or minus the approval line? That's a split decision in fighting, Mr. Mitchell. 50-50. That's like what medical medical journals are batting about right now. 50-50 of the studies are 85% clock. But I don't think that's true what Dave said usually. Okay. Where were we? Back over here.
Hear it, he'll say it, and then question it. Ask, well, where?
Oh, so the Andrew I know always has at least two sources. So he'll hear something, and then he'll make sure he gets another source, and then he'll make sure, to the best of his ability, that those two sources didn't get it from the same spot. So it's just an echo chamber.
Where's his source? Does he really have knowledge, or does he really know what he's saying, or is he just trying to stir shit?
Oh, and the clickbait thing. So Andrew always says he does shit for clicks and views, and then Don said in the interview today that people do stuff to be contentious or stir the pot, and they do that for views, and that's how they make their money on YouTube. And um, uh, that couldn't be more inaccurate about me, like crazy inaccurate about me. Like crazy, crazy, crazy. As a matter of fact, my team makes fun of me that I do UFC shows or non-CrossFit shows, or that I do shows that because they see how low my views go, and and they make fun of me. I don't do anything for views. I do exactly what I fucking want to do. I do nothing for views. That being said, the paradox is if I didn't get any views, I would not do this. Like if there were 4 of you watching right now, I'd be like, fuck this, I'm out. But I also question Andrew. I don't believe he does stuff for just clicks and views. And he's been saying that a long time. And today, I really started thinking that it's not true, even though he says that. And I think he says that in a way because he doesn't want to dive into the minutia and the psychology of what makes him tick. He's not like there in his life. He'd rather just run because he's tapped into such a source of fuel for creativity. It's like what Mike Tyson said. Why would I go see a psychologist to fix my anger issues when it's the key to my success? Because why would Andrew, if he had all of this talent, why would he be in the CrossFit space? Why isn't he just reposting pictures of Danny Spiegel? Yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I think that that's just an easy way out. I think that's a justification that other people say about him or other people because they don't want to look at the issue. I think that that's the nuance there is that's a form of ad hominem. Instead of looking at the issue, you attack the person. So like my house, let's say I'm standing in front of my house and my house is on fire and my neighbor goes, "Your house is on fire." And I'm like, "You're just saying that because you're a fireman and you want to put it out." But really my fucking house is on fire. Bring Hiller on to defend himself? No, fuck that. This is my time to beat Hiller's ass a little bit. And it's a backhanded compliment. Anyway, okay, here we go.
And then the second thing I'll talk about is the stuff he did with Annette. And I saw a comment. Let me see if I could find this one come through. Hold on. Oh, here we go. One of your bosses made it clear CrossFit has racial quotas to place, ensure diversity. Have you met the racial quotas for the games team? What are your thoughts on the reality of CrossFit? It's now a company that hires people based on the color of a person's skin. So that's 100% coming from this Hiller piece, which I did not watch. So I don't know if
that is true. It's coming from that Hiller piece, but it's coming from Annette's mouth. He played a podcast of her. It's coming from her mouth. There's all sorts of videos of her on the internet celebrating the fact that her greatest achievement at Facebook is diversity hires, that she's made it very clear. She's never spoke about merit hiring anywhere I've ever seen. It's very clear that skin color, sex, and sexual preference is a hierarchy before merit. And the premise of this company and what this company is selling is personal accountability and personal responsibility and merit. That's the stopwatch. And if she's the people person and she's in charge of the culture, but that's not a core tenet of hers, a core tenet of hers is to hire based on color or to play victim. That is not at its foundation. That is never what we're doing here at CrossFit. And that's all that Hiller was pointing out using her own words. He didn't, me personally, I thought it was so tempered because there's words for people like her. There's words that involve concepts and theories for people like her. And he didn't use any of those words. That would have been derogatory. That would have been attacking her. He did not do that. He used her own words. She's not in compliance. She doesn't have continuity with the core tenets of what the people here in this company or in this lifestyle protocol are about. That's what he's pointing out. That's how I took it. And how is it that when DeCoon said something stupid about, I forget what he say, CrossFit's dangerous, or he doesn't have his level 1, or whatever the fuck he said, he came out publicly and walked it back. And maybe she is gonna walk it back. Maybe she's gonna be like, you know what? I'm tired of looking at the world like it's. I mean, every interview she brings it up because she's a DEI person, right? I'm tired of looking at the world and searching for people who don't like me because of my skin color and my sex. I'm going to, now that I'm with you guys, I realize that there's a different way to look at the world. Yeah, and you could flip the script on Dawn too and be like, "Hey man, victimhood sells." When Dawn says clickbait and blah blah blah, you could so flip the script on him and be like, "Yo, Dawn, victimhood sells." What Hiller's doing is like real courageous. The most marginalized community in fucking the United States right now are the people who are standing up against the people who are demanding everyone else play victim. That's fucking hard, man. You have to be really fucking secure with yourself to fucking do that. Can't we all just get along? We are the world. We are our children. Jonathan Ortega, that's what happens when you get a free documentary. You don't have control of it or when it gets released. Also, it may not get any money, so it may never be released because platforms may not want it. Yeah, that's okay, though. I don't even care about that. If they didn't even release it, I wouldn't care. Well said or whatever. And I always, dear Annette, Dawn, Jenna, Dave, Nicole, the Coons, I always, I glorified the athletes. I glorified CrossFit. I glorified Dawn. I gave you guys the final edit. I made the L1 commercials. I made the affiliate commercials. All I asked for is complete access like you gave me last year, and let me go everywhere Dave goes. Not because Dave's the star of these pieces, but just the underpinning of what is the CrossFit Games is the anchor to these behind the scenes. It's what gives it texture and depth. It's not just about the athletes. Thank you. I say that with peace and love. All of these things like victimhood sells or clickbait, or anytime anyone says something like that, or on both sides, whether you say victimhood sells or being aggressive or negative sells, like that's just justification to not look at yourself. Hey, if it just ignore it then. I ignored all that shit when I was at CrossFit. I never looked at Reddit, never listened to one thing Arm& Hammer ever posted. I was like, fuck y'all. I got my own shit to do. I don't give a fuck. Like, never watched it. Alexander Clement, Sevon, I completely agree. I've been watching Andrew from the beginning. He is in the most neutral of terms, self-denying, self-defeating even. Yeah. Man, he's a lovely man. It is it's but he puts himself out there. But the guy fucking accepts everybody. Like if you're in his presence, yeah, he's cool as shit. I'm telling you, he rubbed me down with fucking lotion and a butter knife on my skate ramp on a sunny day, shirtless. Facts.
Hiller said that we have quotas, and
I'd never even met him before. He just came over. Sevon giving him the hard haktui right now. I'm just saying.
Having worked here again, so that's 100% coming from this Hiller piece, which I did not watch. So I don't know if Hiller said that we have quotas, but having worked here now for over a year with Annette, I will tell you, I've interviewed a lot of people. I've had to make a lot of hires. I've had team members and seen other teams make a lot of hires. And this notion, so if Hiller's saying this guy said it, but he's wrong. I don't know if Hiller's saying this, but this notion that we have quotas or there's any pressure to hire anyone for any other reason than that they're the best qualified for the job is complete fucking bullshit.
Well, Hiller didn't say it, and that guy didn't say it, Dave. Annette said it. in many different podcasts. She celebrated it. Dude, that's it. It's okay. You don't have to like, I get it. So you don't do that. Okay, cool. All right. Peace and love to you, buddy. Good job. Good job not hiring chicks just because they're hot or dudes because they're brown or I've seen a lot of lesbians hanging around you. Good job. I'm assuming they're all hired based on merit. I really mean that. But she said it, dude. The month before she was hired on a podcast and then going back podcast fucking 5 years, she said it over and over and over. It's in every one of her podcasts. She somehow squeezes it in, dude. What do you want him to make a video on every podcast she's ever done? He's just going off of what she said, dude. That's it. And just imagine you're part of this community and then all of a sudden you got someone in here saying that shit. Meanwhile, the shit's fucking, everything's in tumult. Is that a word? Tumult? Like tumultuous? Everything's in tumult. And the person who's in charge of your culture is hiring not based on merit. I was in a meeting. Thank you. Tumult is a word. Thank you, Bernie. I knew I was really actually talking to you. I should have just said Bernie. I was in a meeting with the CEO that Greg hired to replace himself before Dave was CEO. And I was in that meeting with Dave and Nicole and Bruce Edwards, head of training, head of the games, and chief operations officer, and the new CEO. And the new CEO said, I could hire people from New York City who are better than every single person who works here at CrossFit for 20% less. And I stood up and fucking started yelling. I was fucking pissed. I think the first words out of my mouth, I stood up out of my chair. I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. You can't find anyone anywhere on planet Earth that's better than the people on my fucking team. You fucking asshole. I didn't say that. I was pissed. I think one of the reasons I heard one of the reasons I got fired, that in my file when Rose bought the company, there was a note in there that that I called the HR lady a cunt one time. And I don't know if I did or didn't. I don't even know if that's true, but I heard that. But I will say this, she was only one of 2 employees there. She would grab me and hug me and push her pelvis up against mine. It was weird. Did you? I don't know. I may have. She was so fucking inappropriate. She was physically inappropriate. She would leave me the craziest notes on my desk. It's just like so inappropriate. One time, I've never had a woman do this to me. One time at a dinner right in front of my fucking wife, she came up to me and she put her hands like here on my neck and rubbed them down my titties. Now, listen, I didn't care that she left those notes or rubbed my titties or pushed her pussy up against me. But like in hindsight, I'm like, man, I got tossed out for fucking calling her a cunt. No, I didn't know. I never cheated on my wife ever. I don't even jerk off to anyone but my wife. That's true. Those are facts. I do have big old titties. They're not like droopy, but I got a big meatsicles, pectorials.
We do not have any
I have to do a lot of push-ups.
quotas or there's any pressure to hire anyone for any other reason than that they're the best qualified for the job.
By the way, that's not true. That may be true now. That wasn't true when Rosa was here. There is significant evidence that when Rosa was here, that they were openly hiring based on color of skin and sexual preference. And a matter of fact, if they, I don't know, there's things that I know that I don't want to open the door about, but like there's fucking crazy shit that happened, and crazy shit that happened to me, and crazy people who sued the company, DEI motherfuckers you hired, who then you tried to get rid of and then sued. Isn't it ironic? You hired someone based on some characteristic that falls under DEI, and then when you got rid of them, they sued you because they said they didn't feel welcome there because of that. That's what I mean. The woke eat their own. And I can tell you some crazy shit that fucking happened to me sooner or later, but Not now. Probably not under this administration. And everyone knows it. Maybe Hiller will make a video on it.
Is complete fucking.
But Philip Kelly, I'm trying to be cool because I'm trying to get access to the games. That's right. You're right. That's right. That's right. You're correct on that. That's right.
Bullshit. We do not have any quotas to hire people of any color skin, and there has been zero pressure to do any of that I have seen at all throughout the company.
I think he's telling the truth, but I think he's walking a fine line.
So, to your comment to this dude who just said this, you're fucking wrong. So don't try to spin that or perpetuate. If Hiller is saying that, and if Hiller is putting that out, he's fucking wrong.
What about Annette? Is she wrong? The person, the chief people's officer who's control your company's culture and who all hires have to go through and who interviewed every employee when she first got there, Muscle Manos. Is she wrong? That's the thing, because he hasn't watched the video, he doesn't have to actually address the real issue. He just addressed some fucking ding dong in the comments. Hello, it's not about her color, it's about the person. 100%. 100%. Try to explain that to them. Them over there.
Annette, I think it's people don't come here. People don't come to CrossFit to get at any level, at an executive level or at all the way down the team, to have people like Hiller come at them and attack them and try to, make them do whatever Hiller's trying to do. People come here to actually try to contribute and to make CrossFit a better place for the community, for the affiliates, for the company.
Fair enough. People don't come there to get attacked by Hiller. Cool. Makes sense. People come to contribute. I hope so. I hope so. Do you think people like working there, Dave? If you were to ask people at a McDonald's, do you like working at McDonald's? How many people do you think would say yes? Like, would you rather be somewhere else, or do you like your job? I pay you the same amount of money to do anything you want. Would you rather be here or McDonald's? And what if we asked people at CrossFit HQ that? What would it be? Would it be double McDonald's, triple, half?
And it sucks to see people like Annette get attacked by someone like him because it's
fair. He works with her. Yeah, I think it sucks too. If I work with someone, I think it sucks too. But he didn't. God, it's such a weird thing to say. He attacked her, man. If I see you have cancer and I point at it, and you're like, motherfucker, you're attacking me. He's not attacking her. He sees her as not suited to fucking be there with the fucking company, with the beliefs and the momentum, what the company's supposed to be, what he wants it to be. And he used her own words.
Unfair to them. Now, I could say there could be. You could take it to this like Annette get attacked by someone.
Who cares? Unfair, fair. More, I think Dave's just defending her because he works with her. And to quote Hiller in the comments, like, I don't blame Dave for defending her. I don't.
One like him, because it's unfair to them. Now, I could say there could be. You could take it to this place of, well, if you're going to get a job at CrossFit, you should know that you're going to be in the crosshairs. And I will say that's still not fair. And that's still, if people like Hiller are going to drag people.
It's not that you work at CrossFit. Don't get it twisted. It's because you said something on a podcast repeatedly on many podcasts that say you hire people based on their skin color. And then Hiller was already here, and this person came into his purview, and now he's commenting on it. Man, dude, he's in the space. Listen, there's no difference between yes and no. I used to smoke cigarettes, and someone would come up to me and be like, do you have an extra cigarette? And I would be like, no, and they would get pissed. It's like, motherfucker, you asked me. You weren't ready for yes and no? You weren't ready for both answers? Why'd you ask me? You set yourself up? He's here holding a magnifying glass looking at CrossFit. And she walks in, stage right. What do you want? What do you want? He saw cancer. What he diagnoses as a cancer. I don't think it's fair that, like, you're saying that people come here to be attacked. I think you're spinning this a little, my boy, my ese, my cholo, my chicanoito.
And I will say that's still not fair. And that's still if people like Hiller are going to drag people into the crosshairs, that's unfair to people
He didn't drag her in, dude.
who want to work here and who want to contribute. And that's a great person. I've worked with her for over a year. She's been nothing but respectful and honest, and worked with me with a high level of integrity and consistency. And we've had epic discussions on a wide variety of things, and we've challenged each other. And but never, again, to reiterate, never have I felt any pressure to do anything in a certain direction or to do anything that is not to support the company at its highest levels to reach all of its goals.
She's great to work with. You get along with her. You've had some great discussions, and you guys made some great media together. No, not that. And you guys, okay, cool. So you like her. You enjoy working with her. I value that. I loved working with you too. I value that. Okay, so you like working with her. Great. Fondal. I don't think Sevi will be filming behind the scenes at Dickies. Oh, fuck, really? All right. Well, this show's over.
So I was disappointed in Hiller that he did that. I'm disappointed in this realm of, hey, I would love this. So a lot of these people don't sign up for that or to sign up for people to come at them. I'm here for that. Fucking come at me. I'd challenge Hiller or any of these other guys out there. Instead of coming at any of those individuals, I came back 2-3 years ago, whenever I came back after being fired, and I knew what I was signing up for. I was signing up for to get punched. I was signing up for to get attacked. I know I've been doing this for almost 2 decades. That's how it's been, and I get a lot of support, but that's how it's been for a very long time. So I'm good. You can come at me. You can make fun of me. You can talk shit about me. You can say whatever you want about me. I'm fine.
Here's what I want to know. Why does he feel obligated to stand up for her? Does he think this is a good thing? When I worked at CrossFit in the beginning, in the early years, at some point, and I think it was Rob Wolf, put up a website, and it was firedavecastro.com, and it was trying to collect signatures to get Dave fired. That's like some OG woke shit, right? And so people like Dave have crazy thick skin. We all love TDC. I know. He has crazy thick skin. I mean, the hatred has been real towards him. And now Andrew makes a video showing one of her old podcasts. I just don't, I'm just tripping. Like, why not just let it go? Whatever. Like, does that really affect her? Go put my name in Reddit. You can get a whole fucking dissertation on how I'm a pedophile. She's a fucking grown ass adult. She worked at Facebook. She's probably rich as shit.
I don't think it's right for that to be put on a lot of other people. I don't think a lot of other people want to deal with that and or should deal with that. So
then don't do podcasts. This ain't the space for you. And this ain't the space for you. Especially there's some crazy comments.
Right for that to be put on a lot of other people. I don't think a lot of other people want to deal with that and or should deal with that. So bring it on me. I'll deal with it. I just ask if people could chill out on our team. People could chill out on just like doing this to people who have good intentions and want to contribute to CrossFit and the community and advance it forward. And there's no.
Wasn't the podcast before her CrossFit position? Yeah, it was. That's correct. Trish. The one that I think Hiller showed was like a month before she got hired. So was the one with the Coons. He didn't work at CrossFit when he said what he said either.
People could chill out on just like doing this to people who have good intentions and want to contribute to CrossFit and the community and advance it forward. And there's no fucking hidden agenda, or there's no like people trying to get one over on the community. And I don't think Hiller's contributing well now. I mean, people have been telling me that for a long time, and I've been saying, hey, there's a lot of what he does that is good, and I like criticism, but then there's a lot where you're crossing these lines and really just fucking hammering individuals, especially individuals that you don't even know. That's just not cool. All right, that was a long rant.
He can't.
To end
Hiller can't make videos on everyone he knows. He'd run out of fucking people. This is just crazy talk. Anyway, love you, Dave. Let's let him sign out.
recording. So again, I'm using the StreamYard thing. So this is the first time. I think this was long. Well, I didn't see my timer, so I think I went for 30 minutes. All right. See you next week.
All righty. There's a comment down here that I want to address, and it's a listener of the podcast. And I've always liked her contribution to the podcast. Oh, fuck. Here it is. The Julie Jones. She says, thank you for addressing the comments made about Annette by Hiller. I watched his video and felt like he took her words out of context. No, go watch all her podcasts. He also tried to negate her experience as a black woman. I don't even know what that means. Negate her experience as a black woman who's experienced racism. She didn't even actually. I think the story that I remember that she told is that she smiled and someone accused her of that being some sort of black trait. She was very vague about whatever it was. But at the level that she explained her story, we've all been through crazy shit. Like really crazy shit. I don't even think Hiller is examining her as a black woman. Julie, I don't even know why you're going there as no one's addressing Annette as a black woman. That matter of fact, like nobody. She's being addressed as someone that hires based on skin color. Let's just call her a white supremacist. Would that help? Let's pretend like we don't even know what she looks like. No one's addressing her as a black woman. He tried to equate the racism she said she experienced to his friend who is fat as a white man. No, it wasn't that. He was saying that you can't judge a book by its cover. That's what he was saying. And that's what she's doing. She was judging a book by its cover. That's what he was saying. He purposely took it out of the color realm. He's not arguing about anyone's experience or anything like that. If I'm walking towards you down the street and you cross the street and I think it's because I'm a scary looking Armenian dude, that's my experience. Yeah, I'd like you, Julie, but you've added some story to this that's not the story. You're reading into it. You're bringing some of your story into it. You are negating Hiller's experience description. I don't think he meant this, but by the way, this is a very tempered, beautiful post. By the way, I don't think he meant this, but his assessment of her came off as a bit racist. Dude, Julie, I beg of you. You are the one who's bringing color to this. That's the thing. A bit racist. There's a bit too much of diminishing people's lives experiences from a very small but loud contingent. I'm looking at Sevon too. In the sea of space. There's a bit too much of diminishing people's lives. Here's the thing, man. And maybe you're right there. Maybe I am diminishing people's life experiences. Because when you finally get over your own story, you're free. And no matter how true your story is to you, when you can get over your own fucking narrative and you can say to yourself, who would I be without this story? You're free. And sitting there open arms is just happiness, ready to fondle your balls. So you got to get over your own story. But there's no component of this story that involves color other than what Annette said. And if her story is that she experienced racism, and so therefore she's going to pay it back towards black people, and she's going to pay it back by not hiring white people, or she's going to hire more black people. Okay, that's all Hiller's saying. But we don't even know what the fuck her story is. She didn't even say it. We have to take her on her word that she wasn't given a promotion because she was black. I was told I wasn't going to get a promotion because I came to work barefoot once. Facts. Okay. But I don't want to diminish. I'm not trying to diminish your life experience. I'm creating a space where it's just okay. It's just okay. Like, just let it go. It's okay. It's fine. Except for the pedos. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay that you're short. It's okay you're tall. It's okay you're black. It's okay you got a tooth missing. It's okay if you stutter. Like, just come here. Let us work with what you got, playa. That make it feel comfortable for marginalized folks in the space. There you go again, marginalized folks in the space. Man, listen. The most marginalized person walking in the United States today is a black man who doesn't want to play the victim anymore. Just imagine that. Imagine not towing the line for your people and be like, I don't want to do that game. Imagine how marginalized Hiller is for speaking up what fucking, I guarantee you, more than 51% of the people at fucking CrossFit HQ are thinking. They're thinking what exactly what Hiller thinks. Imagine how marginalized that makes him feel. But he just rolls with it. Imagine how that makes all the people who work there feel. Just imagine working there knowing that the fucking one of the top executives who's controlling the culture of the company has a hierarchy, and your skin color puts you at the bottom of it. Anyway, I like seeing you in the comments, Julie. I appreciate your comment. You're always welcome here, but we make fun and we take things lightly because we don't want the stories to carry weight. We don't want stories and narratives to bog people down. We want people just to feel free from their shit. That's the premise. Maybe touch a little glimpse of where we came from and where we're going. All right, guys. Love you. Dave, thanks for the weekend review. I heard Dave has a video out with Justin Medeiros. I got 2 big shows tomorrow. Man, I know you fuckers aren't going to watch this one tomorrow morning either, but the great Devin Lorette's coming on. What a stud. He was a, what is it, Bernie? What was Devin? He was a JT. He was whatever highest level special forces you could be in Canada. He's, maybe the second best arm wrestler who ever walked the planet. I guess you could say the best. A right and left-handed monster. JTF2. Thank you, Dallas. Yeah, that thing. So we'll see him tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. He's a dear friend. Love the guy. And then after that at 11 a.m., I'm going to go on with Get With The Programming. I don't think I've ever been on that show, so I'm pretty excited. I love myself some Bill and Chase. Bill's so fun. Chase is great. And then I have something else. Oh, and then Dave's releasing all these videos, and I'm not sure if I'm going to review all the athlete videos. Anyway, thanks again, Dave, for doing what you're doing. Thanks for being forward facing. Thanks for your leadership. Thanks for being a good teammate to Annette. That's cool. Those of you who haven't seen the podcast that Pedro White did with Don Fall, go over to Coffee Pods and Wads. It's a tremendous fucking interview. I've said this before about Pedro. I could not have done what he did. So kudos to him. No, I'm done. I gotta still try to. I'm keeping the dream alive of doing the behind the scenes. There's no way I'm reviewing that. Anyway, Annette, I hope you get through this. I hope that you can set yourself free and you know come to the light and see the CrossFit way and drop some of these stories you got. And just roll with it, man. It's like it's not a big deal that Hiller made a video, and if it'll make you feel better, go over and watch Sporty Beth's video, "The Most Toxic Man in CrossFit About Me." That'll be fun for you. All righty, love you guys. See you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. You want to know what I'm gonna go do right now? It's really kind of gross. I'm gonna go watch the show, boys. Fide, thanks for getting me through the show. Love you guys.